Hello children, we come down to your writing skills and we come down to your letter writing. Writing skills, reading skills are the only areas where the child has least practice. He always shirks from preparing his letters or going through the unseen passages. Remember, the more you write, the more confidence you will gain and the better and quicker your writing skills will get. Otherwise, you will keep thinking, keep fumbling for words because you will not be able to write what you want to write. For that, what you need is practice. Now, letter writing is an essential skill. You've been writing letters, I believe, when you were in class 3 or in class 4, and it started with your applications. Write an application to the principal for one-day leave as you have to attend your cousin's marriage. Then these similar letters, they start off and you carry on till your class 12th. Now, this skill, although the emails and the text messages have come up, yet the letters still are considered to be very important. They hold their importance, and a popular means of communication even till this date. Even though the emails and the text messages are on, yet they have retained their importance, especially the formal letters, because that's a proof, that's a written document, Now, there are two types of letters. One is your formal letter and one is informal. What is informal? Which is not formal, is called informal. Now, when it is a formal letter, it is very obvious the language will be formal. You cannot use casual words. So, these letters follow a certain pattern and tone of formality, a formal word, formal tone, formal sentences are to be written in your formal letter. They suggest same as official letters and directly address the issues. Formal letters always directly relate to an issue. For example, there are letter to editors. Now, the letter to editor is always about some kind of a situation, a kind of problem that has come up, and the editor happens to be a means to rectify. The editor happens to be a source through which the information reaches the concerned authorities, and then they take the required action. Then we have order placing letter, and then we have inquiry letters, complaint letters. So, there are a number of letters which are categorized under formal letters. Moving on to your informal letters. In the informal letters, these are personal letters to your cousin, to your friends. Here you children have stopped writing personal letters. Here you stick down to your messages. But then long time back, these, not very long time back, just a couple of years back, these letters had again a lot of pleasure they would bring to those family members. These types of letters are generally written to friends, to relatives, etc. Now, in our syllabus, formal letters are asked in the board examination. So, we will focus on the letters which are coming in your term 2 examination. Let's further discuss about the types of letters covering your syllabus. Now, there are generally 4 types of formal letters asked in the examination. One is your letter to editor. We have this letter to editor. It's a formal letter written to the editor of a newspaper or a magazine about some social problem, and the format needs to be strictly followed. Now, coming down to your letters, letter of complaint. These are the letters written for resolving issues pertaining to defective or damaged products and need replacement. You are complaining about it. Remember, the language needs to be very polite. Although it is a complaint, you are complaining about some defect, some damaged good, or some late delivery of some product, whatever the situation may be, the language, the format remains the same, and the tone needs to be very polite while you are writing, and even otherwise, even when you speak to somebody, I mean, minimize your complaints. No? Letter of placing an order. Now, when you place an order, it is written when we need to assign order for goods. See, as the question is saying, letter of placing an order. You are placing an order. Now, when you place an order, the question paper, the CBSE question paper is student friendly. The question itself gives you ample information on which you further elaborate. Now, suppose it's about placing an order for sports goods, and you are a sports fan, and you have lot of information about all the sports kits and the sport balls and everything, you know about it. Now, remember, you don't have to go beyond 5 or 6 products for which you place an order. You don't have to go around, make it 10, 12 just because you know about the tennis rackets, and you know about the cricket kit, and you know about the basketball and the football and the hockey sticks, all those things. No, stick to 5 to 6, even if it is of your interest, even if it is of not your interest, and you just know 1 or 2, mention only in the question, just scratch your head and you will come up with it and bring it down to at least 5 to 6 while placing an order. Now, it is written when we need to assign order for goods. It contains the product details. Now, just saying that you are placing an order, you want footballs or you want those, maybe those hockey sticks. Now, the footballs you want, which company? Costco, if there is any particular color specification, you will mention that. Then how many do you want? That you will mention. Let it be in a tabular form. Just draw those lines with your pencil scale. Product, then the make, and then the quantity. The price, that again will be optional. All right. Now, then you have this letter of inquiry. Now, what inquiry means? You inquire, you want to know, you want to know. Now, what you want to know? At least 5 to 6 things you want to know. As I told you, question paper is student friendly. Question will give you 1 or 2 hints that write a letter of inquiry to Messrs. SNS stationers, asking them to send their prices of the maybe A4 size papers and ballpoint pens, add 4, 5 more things along with it. So, it is a formal letter written to an institution asking for certain details. Now, inquiry can also be like you want to take admission. You want to take admission to a particular institute. So, there you will write a letter of inquiry asking them to send you the details. Send you the details again about the fee structure, about the types of classes, future placements, and the class strength. 5 to 6 inquiries you will make if it is regarding admission to a particular institution. Now, in your term 2 exam, you have 2 types of letters. One is your letter of order and the other is your letter of inquiry. Now, let us just talk about the main parts of a formal letter. because when the examiner gives you marks in your answer sheet, the marks are divided. You have separate marks for the format, separate for the content, and separate for the expression. Now, what expression includes? It includes your grammar, it includes your accuracy, how accurately you have framed your sentences. That comes with practice. You cannot memorize accuracy, you got to practice it. To begin with, we have sender's address. A formal letter begins with the address of the sender. According to the latest format, the address is written at the left hand corner. Everything comes in the left hand corner, everything. We begin with the sender's address, the house number and street number in the first line, and the name of the city in the second line. Stick your address only in 2 lines, don't go beyond that. This address is for reference. Your letter will be posted from the address which is written on the envelope, not from the inside. This address is just for the reference. Then comes the date. Date should be written in full format with leaving some space after the sender's address. There is the sender's address, gap of 1 line, then comes the date, 10th January 2021, or it could be like this also. You could have it like this also, but don't go around writing like this, one. This is wrong. Then comes receiver's address. Who is receiver? The one who is going to receive your letter. So, after the date, the address of the receiver is written. Now, the address of the sender, the date and receiver's address, they have to come even if they are not mentioned in your question. Now, just in case if they are not mentioned in your question, what will you do? ABC colony, XYZ city, right? So, what you will be doing? Or if the city is of, the other address is mentioned, mention that name of the city. But don't just think that the address is not given, so you will not write down. You have to write down. And then preferably go for these addresses. This doesn't disclose your identity. Otherwise, what happens is, when the copies go for correction and the invigilators, the examiners are not aware, we people are not aware as to where the copies have come from. So, but when you people mention these addresses and you mention the names of your cities and you mention the names of your principal, and then then it is disclosed that although it doesn't matter at all as to where the copies have come from, it doesn't matter, but yet if we are maintaining a secrecy, you should be part of that secrecy. You should not disclose it. Then comes receiver's address. After the date, the address of the receiver is written. Then comes the subject. After leaving some space, the subject of the letter should be written. It includes the main objective of the letter. See, subject is the heading. Heading is always brief. Don't spread it to 2 lines. And best place to pick up your subject is from the question only. The question tells you, write a letter to so and so inquiring about their products, placing an order for sports goods. So, pick up your subject from the question. It's the heading of your letter. It has to be brief. Do not over elaborate it. Do not take it to the next line. Then comes the salutation. begin the letter in a formal manner by addressing the receiver as sir or ma'am. If you aren't aware, then you may mention that sir, ma'am, sir slash ma'am. If the question specifies, then you could just stick to one. Otherwise, both could be there. We could skip dear sir and dear ma'am because this gets little informal. So, we stick to this. We stick to sir, ma'am. Then comes the body of the letter. That's the main part, the main subject, the main part, whatever the question is about. This is the big portion, the big chunk. Now, here in this body of the letter, the content of the letter is written. Whatever the main topic is, that will come. This is a bigger paragraph. It consists of 3 main points: introduction, content, and solution. So, the letter should be written in 3 paragraphs. No matter what happens, it could go up to 4, but 3 is compulsory. 3 is compulsory. The first one, introduction. You introduce the problem. You just mention this is the issue. This paragraph should be written with a polite beginning. Every paragraph should carry a polite beginning. You cannot be rude, and if you are rude, you cannot expect any response from the other person in any situation apart from letter and even otherwise also. So, it should have a polite beginning. For example, through the columns of your esteemed or reputed newspaper, I would like to draw your attention towards the street lights, or towards the potholes in our area, or towards those the negligence of those sweepers in the area, whatever the situation is. The subject of concern should be introduced in this paragraph. Introduction just is about 3 to 4 lines, not beyond this, because you are introducing, you are not mentioning the details. The details will come in the body of the letter. Now, here comes the content. The content, the problem or the concern should be highlighted in the second paragraph. Here you may add 1 or 2 examples also. If something has occurred or something has happened, you mention a problem, the example also. This is a bigger one. Then your third paragraph, where we talk about the conclusion. This paragraph consists of possible solutions for the issue mentioned in the body. You just sum it up. Conclusion is summing it up. We hope that the concerned authorities would look into the issue and get the problem rectified, or we hope the order, we will receive the order within 10 days as has been specified. The balance amount will be handed over on receipt of the goods, and there you end your letter. So, this paragraph consists of possible solution for the issues mentioned in the body. Students must keep in their mind to urge politely, again, politeness should be there everywhere, not just in your letters, even in your attitude towards others, to everyone. You need to be polite. Then this complimentary clause. Now, here children, something which children always commit mistake right till class 12 is with their why. The letter ends in a formal manner such as yours sincerely or yours truly. The letter Y of the word yours is always capitalized, and truly, TRULY. You know the spelling of true, TRUE, and then you add LY to it. No, these are the spellings. Now, name, it is mentioned just below the complimentary clause and enclose sender's name. One must write down, you put on your signature and then the complete name. Yours truly, signature and name in capital letters, right? Okay. Now, the format of a formal letter, everything is in your left hand side. Sender's address, gap, date, gap, receiver's address, gap, subject, gap, salutation, gap, and then the introduction, main content, conclusion, yours truly or yours sincerely, and name of the sender, right? Okay. Next. Now we come down to letter of placing an order. Order letters are written to assign orders for goods or items. They are written in a very well formatted and specific manner. There is a set pattern on which the order letters are placed. They are quite common and are written on daily basis. The language of the letter is very formal. You should be very careful to impart complete and accurate information. See, even otherwise, what these letters are teaching you is that later on in your lives, when you will be handling your own business and you will be into those jobs, ensure that there must be clarity about what you want, how much you want, which product you want. Be very clear about it. Moreover, these letters are to be written to the point only. You don't need to add any extra information. So, it's a formal letter. You can't go around making it very lengthy. No. Be brief, be accurate, and be clear as to what all you want, how much you want it. Now, format for placing an order: the address, sender's address, date, to whom you are sending. You will address somebody like the manager, or sometimes what happens is when you directly address the firm, then you put down like this, then you put down, like suppose if you are placing an order with London Sports, so you write down Messrs. London Sports. Here you need not write down the manager on top, because Messrs itself is directly the firm you are addressing. But here we are mentioning the manager, name of the company, address of the company, and then there is a gap, Dear sir or ma'am, subject. Then you begin by, if there has been, they have mentioned in their letters that this is the order number and this is the reference number. So, you mention that this is in reference to your reference number, and then you mention the list of requirements, items to be ordered, date on which delivery is required, this also you will be specific about. What is the mode of payment? Is it through check, through draft? Is it online payment? Whatever the source of payment is, that will be specified. Items to be in good condition and as per requirement. The consignment is, till the delivery is the responsibility of the company. All this needs to be clearly specified. Then yours sincerely or yours faithfully, name and the designation. Now, we have a solved example for placing an order. You are Vajayanti or Vijay from Prakashan Nagar, Sikandrabad, Andhra Pradesh. See, the name is given, address is given. Now, you cannot go with that ABC colony, it is given to you in the question. Write a letter to Book Haven Store requesting home delivery of the books, stationery and arts material. Now, three things for your placing an order. One is books, stationery and art material. Make sure you mention all three. You had ordered telephonically. Share the reason for being unable to pick up the goods in person. Confirm your address, details and a convenient time slot. See, now what the question is telling you? The question is telling you requesting home delivery. Home delivery of goods that you have already placed an order for, and you've telephonically placed an order, and give them the reason that why you are unable to pick up the goods in person. Specify your address and the details, Prakasham Nagar, Secunderabad, Andhra Pradesh, date, Bookhaven store. Not being able to pick up the order in person. Not being able to pick up the order in person is the question. You may go for the manager here because somebody needs to be addressed. Dear Sir, Ma'am, I am Vijay and I had placed an order for books, stationery and art materials telephonically yesterday. I am very sorry that I won't be able to collect my order in person. All this is given to you in the question only. So, this is your introduction. This is your first paragraph. What is the first paragraph? Introducing. Introducing what? That I had placed an order for books, stationery, arts material, but I am unable to come, which I had placed telephonically, and I am unable to collect. Now, we talk about the next. This is because I have not been feeling well since last evening. Moreover, please do add these connectors. Moreover, gradually, next, Moreover, I am staying alone and therefore cannot have anyone else collect the order on my behalf. In anticipation of a positive response from your end, I request you to deliver the goods to the address mentioned below by 28th March 2021. Now, you could also mention here, you could add one or two more lines that kindly, make sure that the books are delivered at the earliest, as my exams are approaching, and there are my textbooks in that, or my important sample papers are in those in those books. So, kindly get them delivered at the earliest on the address given below. Yours sincerely, Vijay. Now, the address also could have been mentioned after that. The address should have been included. You could include in the this letter and then the above address is already there. On the above address, once again you may mention in the letter again, right? Or it's already there. Let's move on to our next letter. This is an inquiry letter. An inquiry letter is a formal letter written to inquire and get details regarding something that a person is interested in. It's an inquiry. It could be written with respect to an item that a person is interested in buying, a course that a person wants to study. See, now where all you make inquiries? You make inquiries about the course you wish to study, or a vacation trip, or it could be regarding any purchases that you want to make. You want to first inquire about it, inquire about its prices, then make comparisons, and then you place an order. So, that is inquiry. As the sender of an inquiry letter needs information about something, the inquiry letter must mention the contact details of the sender where the said information has to be sent. it must contain the particulars of the thing inquired about. It must contain the details of the thing inquired about. It must also list down all the aspects of the thing about which the sender wants detailed information. It must also list down all the aspects of the thing about which the sender wants detailed information. See, the format remains the same for all kinds of letters. Everything comes towards the left hand, the sender's address, the date, receiver's address, subject, salutation, and then you introduce the problem, and then the body, and then the content, and then the complimentary close, yours sincerely, and name. The inquiry letter format, sender's address, include an email and phone number if required. That you could add on. See, letters are something which have been coming from time immemorial, like long years back, where nothing of this sort was there. So now if we talk about the practical situations, if we talk about the inquiries and those companies which have their letterheads printed, there they have their phone numbers and their email address, everything is there on that. But then again, let's just stick to our curriculum, and you could skip it. Just let's stick to the address. Then comes the date, below that, receiver's address, subject of the letter, again be brief, it's the heading, and heading cannot be very elaborate. It has to be brief. Preferably pick it up from the question itself. Now look at the salutation. Again, sir, or respected sir or ma'am, or just sir would do. Then paragraph 1, introduce yourself and the purpose of writing the letter. Now, who are you and what do you want to inquire about? Second is details of the inquiry. 5 to 6 inquiries you have to make. Paragraph 3 is your conclusion, you end it up. Then the complimentary closing, sender's name and signature, designation. Now the solved example, you are Vipul/Apurva living at D424 Island Avenue, Ernakulam. You have seen an advertisement about a diploma course in French language soon to be organized by Maxwell Institute of Languages, Fort Road, Kochi. Write a letter in 100 to 120 words to the advertiser seeking all the relevant information like admission procedure, fee structure, duration of the course, timing of the class and transport facility. See, they have already given you. They are already giving you what all you have to make an inquiry about. That they have already told you that ask about fee structure, ask about the duration of the course, admission procedure, timing of the class, transport facilities. 1 or 2 things you may add on your own, otherwise ample of information is there in the question itself, and this is a board question. Now the solved letter, address comes towards the left right hand corner, D424 Island Avenue, Ernakulam, a line, gap of a line, date, the manager, Maxwell Institute of Languages, Fort Road, Kochi, gap, subject, inquiry regarding diploma course. Sir, with reference to your advertisement in the newspaper dated, you have to specify as to when, what are you talking about which date are you talking about. 10th March you are writing the letter. It was on 8th March that you had noticed this advertisement. I wish to inform you that I want to join the diploma course in French language being organized by your institute. Again, the entire information was given to you in the question itself. We change a paragraph. See, if your paragraph ends right till here, suppose if it had ended right here, how would you differentiate? See, from my end I am writing from the next line, and from my side it is a new paragraph. But how will you tell the examiner? Leave one complete line in that situation and then begin the next line. I will be highly obliged if you furnish me with the following details: eligibility of the course, admission procedure, number it, fee structure, duration of the course, timings of the classes, transport, facilities. An early response from your end will be highly appreciated. If possible, kindly make arrangements to send the brochure. Yours sincerely, Apurva. A brief one, accurately written, one or two inquiries, maybe one or two, you could have increased it by one or two more lines, that as you wish to pursue your career in French and therefore you need to join the class, but then that you mentioned it here. So, this is how you will be framing your letter of inquiry. Now, there are some questions for you to practice. You are Rama, RO, Shahid Nagar, Agra. You wish to buy a new car and sell your old car. Write a letter to the manager at car sale and purchase @365, inquiring about the kind of car you are looking for and the best deals that can be offered for your old car. So, now there are two types of inquiries here you are mentioning. You want to inform, you want about the kind of cars, what all are your inquiries about the car you wish to buy, and you also want to know what are they offering you for your old car, what deal are they giving to you. Furnish necessary details. Then there is another one. Write a letter seeking detailed inquiries from the General Manager, Holiday Inn, Kanpur, for conducting the wedding reception of your younger brother at the hotel. Make specific inquiries about the catering costs per head. Ask about the services, the decoration charges, the parking facilities, and maybe few more inquiries that you could also make up, or ask for the discount and per head or the buffet, and if discount is there for a large gathering, what is the capacity of their halls, how many people can they accommodate in their halls, all the inquiries that you will make from them. Now, what you need to do is that they have already given you your name. What do you need to do? Just listening to the question and just think, yes, I'll do that. Yes, this could be done. No. You read the question. Now, take out your copies, your registers, and just solve it. Sit down and solve it. And next step is to get it corrected from your respective subject teacher or anybody. If you have an elder sister at home as an English teacher, or your mother is there, anybody. Because somebody needs to go through and tell you that yes, it's perfectly framed, or these are the points you could have added, or this is somewhere you need to improve on. That is a must. So, I am sure you have understood the letters, the formats, and how they are to be written. Now, the next step is for you to practice the questions, and Max Marks has number of questions. There are more solved questions and there are number of unsolved questions. When you look up, you will find them down. Again, it is practice practice and practice, which is going to bring perfection for you. Trust me, it will. Take care. Thank you.